and I'm here outside on the spiritual front lines. Shit's been real quiet lately for the people. Nature's been very loud. You feel me? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Today I burned. Usually when I sit down, like, look, these bugs. Let me show you. These bugs right here. These fucking bugs right here. They always come around me. Why? I don't know. But I was mad today. I'm probably an addict to cigarettes. I really enjoyed not having money today and then riding my bike around hunting for cigarettes, riding my nice bike. You feel me, man? We're gonna go to the terrace in a second. Oh, but today I was mad and I burned the bikes. Or I burned the bugs. So I suddenly got a huge wave of depression and I felt called to go to my tent in the woods. So I have this weird feeling that I was gonna go to those woods. I was gonna go up in there and sleep in the tent. Oh, I got a shooting star. That was the brightest thing I've seen in my fucking life. That was right in front of my face. That was right in front of my face. I'm all alone. There's nobody in the chat. I'm by myself. There's nobody here. I'm now fully aware of the simulation. I was channeling woodland spirits. I was trying to communicate to the woods. I woke up to the fact that they were probably going to try to scare me when I went in there because I started burning bugs like a serial killer. And then the biggest light I've seen in my life, that was not a shooting star at all. That was not a shooting star at all. That was not a shooting star at all. That was right above my head. That was right there, and now I'm seeing lights. They just revealed themselves to me. I woke myself up a little bit more, trying to get back to my communication with the forest, and that was the brightest thing I've seen in my entire life. That was brighter than any star I've seen. That was brighter than any light I've seen. It was right over my face, going right to left. I don't know why I looked up, but I looked up right when it did it. It only went right in front of my face, and then it stopped right in front of this bright star that I've been looking at the whole night. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette and sit down. I'm all alone out here. I was just telling you that I've had nothing. I'm full, like I'm seeing I'm seeing aliens. They're floating right above me in the fifth dimension. They're telling me right now that they're excited for a world where we can just play together, where there's no violence and crime, and the fact that this world was just a way to, and I'm channeling right now. Here's your proof, guys. This world was a way for us to experience the bad, so that while we were forced to feel pain and suffering, and we hate this world and we don't know why it sucks, we're constantly daydreaming of a better life. Does that make sense? Did you hear that noise? What was that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Can we run the tape back? What was that? Can you make the noise again? I'm feeling tons of things stimulating my solar plexus. I'm seeing, you know, the fish in Minecraft when you go to the sea temple and then those fish project themselves in front of your face? One of them just told me to shut up about this. Stop talking about it. So how are we feeling, guys? How are you guys doing? Nothing in my reflection. How are you guys doing tonight? Are you feeling good? Did you do push-ups? Did you get some rest? You know, I love you more than you can imagine. So how are we feeling? Are we excited for the election? What do you think's going to happen when we have robots? The people are already robots. Now they have robot bodies that are way stronger. But I'm just excited, man. I just write my songs every day. All I do is lay down and I write songs. And I write scenes of movies. I write episodes of TV shows. I daydream about little content I can make. And then I go out in public trying to make it better, but they're just shitty people, bro. But I'm having a great time. I don't know what to do about that. Let's keep my vibration high. When I come into the terrace, it seems a bit wonky because there's a roof above my head. But that was amazing. I could pour one out for the homies. I'm not gonna pour one out for the homies. I'll pour a little bit out for the homies, man. We're gonna get half, so I only have this much left. And I'm out of food stamps, but just to show you guys, that's all I have left. I'm gonna pour one out. You can't fool me, YouTube notifications. I just got banned from Instagram. For real though. So we're gonna take what I have here, and on the live stream, I'm not gonna go too close. I have a feeling they're not malevolent. I have a feeling the forest is upset with me, but the trees aren't. Does that make sense to you? So I'm just going to... I'm running. I'm brave, but I'm also running. Go fuck your mother. Anything? Yeah. My powerful ego sometimes gets in the way of natural empathy. My gifted mediumship. There are so many more stars in the sky than there were seconds ago. Can anyone tell me what this one is? I don't think you'll have any way to see that. It's like a triangle, and then it's got one tiny one that goes diagonally to the left. Looking at constellations, it's so obvious there's a pattern to it. It's a shape. It's not like the stars are speckled out for no reason. Oh, another star just blipped into existence. The higher I raise, okay, there's a moving star now. So when I told you that there was moving stars that look like stars and they're as high up as the stars, but then they just move to different towns. And you think they're satellites, but they're not because they'll stop right above different towns. Wow, I'm turning around now and there are hundreds of more stars than there were seconds ago. Like the sky just lit up and it's full of stars where there wasn't any, there hasn't been any, okay, they're getting closer, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Okay. I'm now realizing, if I tell you what I just realized, it might ruin tonight. I don't want to ruin the experience for you guys, man. You know, I wanted it to be good for you guys because we're just assuming you guys are real. You feel me? You guys have souls and experiences. There's another shooting star. There we go, left to right. I told you I could call shooting stars. I talk to lightning. I talk to deer. I live out in the woods. I'm part of the mycelial network. I'm part of the universe. I'm the most infinite. I might be the main character, I think. Sometimes that really feels like it. But there was that I just got a shooting star left to right. Maybe it doesn't like when I break the fourth wall. Landon, you're in timeout. Holy shit. Okay, I'm seeing. Do you want me to talk about it or not? Okay, my higher self has told me I'm done playing a character. He was very serious about it. So what do I do now? I feel like the only thing left to do is to go to war, right? What else can you do in this life except at the end where we're now battling the injustice for freedom of creating? Did you hear it again? I swear to God, if like a 7-foot crow person walks out of the woods right now, I'm gonna freak out. Can somebody please give me confirmation that you heard that noise? It sounded like the lowest crow I've ever heard in my life. It went roar, and it's right in the woods straight ahead of me. Can people confirm that you are real? Is anyone here a real human being? that had a life, had memories, had a childhood, had family members, has dreams, has emotions, has empathy, that could change when things go better. They learn something, they learn from their mistakes, and they can change. Can anyone here confirm to me that that there's someone else out there? Because I don't see them in my life. I don't see them in my life. I see spirits and I see empty vessels that the spirits are living inside. And then I see wisps of smoke for no reason. The wind's blowing this way. I turn around and there's a wisp of smoke. I did just light a cigarette, but it went this way. But yeah, hopefully you guys saw the shooting star. I know the camera was up. So I just saw the difference between a shooting star and whatever I saw first. The air, like now the energy's getting really dense. Everything's getting more vivid and powerful. There's something in the woods. It's not I started I got mad and I started burning spiders that would crawl onto me. I got mad and I started burning them. I started burning the things around, the bugs that would come around me. And I felt bad about it, and then I had to wrestle with it, and I did it anyway out of anger. Like a malicious serial killer. And I feel like the forest isn't happy with me. So I don't know how to repay it. I can apologize. I'm gonna rest in the forest. When I get up, I'll give the last. Because I don't need food, man. I've got some body fat left, so I'm gonna give the rest to the crows and the squirrels and shit. I feel like that triggered this experience. But I called a shooting star live. I looked up and it gave me the confirmation, and now I just saw another one. I'm seeing those were 3 different types of shooting stars. One was like a giant wave of light, like the brightest thing I've seen in my life. Like the universe just cut through for a second, and I saw the infinite just shine right in front of my face. Now I'm seeing a shadow monster, and I hear the words, "You're dead." I'm not dead. I'm very much alive. My name's Casey Francis O'Brien. I'm a 30. I still have the love for all my friends and family. I still have the things I've always wanted the way that I wanted to shine for them to see me shine. I still have that, so I'm not dead. There's another, okay, so now, like I said that there was a star that moves neighborhoods. That star has now done a full circle around me, and it's coming back to its original position. That star did not travel neighborhoods. It's not a orbiting satellite going across in a straight line. That thing just circled around me, and then I saw another shooting star going from right to left above me. There are things in the sky that are very tiny that are jumping. That seems like how birds dart from trees, but it's light, and it's maybe like 100 feet above the trees. And it jumped from the trees to the building above me. A very kind woman has sent me $50. I use that $50 to buy 1 pack of cigarettes that I'm limiting, and the rest is going to be saved for whatever happens. Worst case scenario, it's like the nuclear apocalypse. We have 30 days to get home, and then I'll just take a Greyhound bus to like maybe the Navajo reservation or something, and then I'll spend the last of my days throat singing with the Indians, with the natives, the indigenous. And then we can open up a portal to the sky, and then I can show them the songs the daydreams in my head are symphonies that I lead. Like every day I'm leading symphonies in my mind of thousands of people in different ways. So I just want to make my songs happen. That's where I'm at. I didn't have all messages on. I bet you I missed some messages. Nope, nobody has said anything. Every time I call out, "Are you real?" No one answers. Or I muted you A couple of times I went to hide notification and I muted them on accident, and now YouTube just doesn't have a way to unmute them. So I apologize for that. There's a bright light sitting in the tree above me that's now shining through the trees directly at me. It's like a star, but it's in the trees. Whatever it was has come down from the sky and is now sitting in the trees. It's just a bright light. Let's show you real quick. Let's see if you can see it. To the 0 people that are here, because they were never real in the first place. They were there to make me feel comfortable, right? And I'm still just alone. I'm like a test subject, right? I'm Truman. But it's more beautiful than that, and I'm very grateful to be here. I know things could have been a lot worse for me, so I'm grateful that I had the experience I had. That got way more vivid and intense than I expected it to be. Reality is breaking apart around me. I'm seeing the literal tears opening up in the quantum field. Everything goes well. I shifted to positivity and then it blew up. When I take control for a second, from whatever this thing is in the electromagnetic spectrum that's right in front of me all the time, when I shifted my control away for a second, every time I do it, my views skyrocket. The more in control of myself I become, the more my algorithm is pushing other people, and I think those people almost disrupt it. I don't think it's a positive thing. Yep. This is why fasting sunlight, probiotics, and the understanding of the Higgs boson are necessary. It's necessary. So remember that guy? I want to talk about this. Remember the guy Bashar? I talked about that channels that alien from the future that is helping humanity evolve. And then 20 years later, science discovered that Bashar was right. That alien from the future was right. He also channels an Irish woman. He has 2 people he channels. He channels an alien from the future, and he channels an Irish ghost. Some type of Irish kindred spirit. By the way. And she explained to me tonight, whether it's real or he's bullshit, I'm glad he chose Ireland. That informed me of the things I needed to have this experience. My songs keep coming to my head. Just because I'm not going to do it, I wanted to tell you what I was planning on doing. There was a guy that was selling a computer for $550. He said he's never used it. It's just sitting in his house. So I texted him, and I said, I've been looking at this on Marketplace every day for months. I make money off of YouTube donations. I've been growing my channel slowly, making my songs every day, making content, and just planning out what I want to do with my life. And I know I'll definitely get you the money over time, but I'm not making enough to survive and also save for this computer. Is there any way, because I'm a block from you, it's just sitting in your house, and I'm sitting down the road a block from you here, is there any way you could just give me the computer if you're not using it, and trust me that I'm going to get it to you over time, that way I can pursue my dreams before the world ends? And he left me on red. So what I was going to do is say, I have the 550, bro, I just want to come test it out. And then when I get there, and I see the computer, I wasn't going to steal it. I was just going to break the bitch in half. And be like, you leaving me on red cost me my dreams. I confided in you and I was vulnerable and said, please, I'm trying to make my dreams come true. And you sat by and did nothing. You ignored it. So I was just going to break his computer so he could never get money for it, and then I'd leave. Because there's no way I'm getting $550. I need $550 for that computer at least. Maybe I should trust that things are going to work out in my favor. It's gotten me this far. But yeah, now I'm seeing that not having the computer has opened me up to daydream more and take in more. So if I had made those songs I wanted to make 6 months ago, they wouldn't be as good as they are now. Nuclear bombs ain't got nothing on we, our love is eternal. I'm finally free, singing outside with the birds and the bees, dancing around, swaying leaves on the trees until they get tired and we lay on the green. Dream of a world where nobody is me, and we only scheme about the best way to wake up the people not ready to feel it. My love is eternal. You gon' get what you deserve real soon. All the things that I said I would do came true. I hate it, bro. There's just people standing there. There's just people standing there not moving like robots like this. Unmoving, not staring at a phone, not looking around, just standing straight, like almost T-posing. I don't know why. And then when I bring attention to them, then they seem to animate. Then they become active. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, man. So I've been seeing tons of deer. Whoever is wasn't here in the live, I encourage you to go back later, man. I saw like 6 UFOs tonight, and all different types of UFOs. It wasn't just the same thing like a shooting star. I saw tons of different UFOs all at once. It was like I just got a lesson in what they are, to look out for them. I got 4 different types of UFOs. I heard the word first contact enter my mind. But it wasn't my first contact, it was your first contact. For the people watching this, that I guess I've been preparing for the moment. So this is like a little entryway into that space. Now that your reality's been affected by this information, as you move slowly. And I told you that there's a star that's as high up as the other stars, but it's not a satellite that's going in a straight line orbiting the Earth. It's just a star as all the way up in the sky with the stars, but it's been going circles around me since I went live. Just slowly going in circles above me, way up in the sky. So I keep it pushing, fam. I keep it pushing, fam. What do you think's gonna happen when I finally have a BB gun or a 22, and I see I guess they'll change the simulation, right? Like it won't be as fun for the crows to be attacking me now that God or whatever knows I have a BB gun that I can just beam them until they leave. But that's me, man. So I'm gonna have my last cigarette for the night because I'm pacing it. This is when I get the discount cigarettes, so sometimes I can get three packs for the price of one. Then I feel okay to chain smoke. But when they're out of that, when the cigarettes are not expired, then we're there. So I guess I wake up to my power, and then I do shit like that. Shit way bigger than that. Way more extravagant than that happens. That's why I deluded myself into being this traumatized, fragmented version of myself. Because it was bad. Like I had to be isolated in a locked room for hours, like days sometimes, to be able to be comfortable like that during COVID. And then my Truman Show friends would show up. I've been astral projecting into some type of space where I can see the emotion behind the comments people have left. So sometimes when people comment, it hits me in a certain way that later when I lay down, I go back through in my fifth dimensional, whatever you'd call it, my 33 consciousness, and I can go in and zoom around it and see, like I can zoom in on all the intricacies of the coding. When Elon Musk talks, sometimes Elon Musk will do something like this. Like when he said, I'm going to turn it sideways. When Elon Musk, he went on that interview where he was like, fuck you. If you want to bait me with money, go fuck yourself. And then when he did this, I saw on his hands these like really intricate, weird, geometric shaped, like almost like rhombuses that were very rich in like detailed hieroglyphic type symbols. When he went like this, I saw it like burst out of him. And I didn't know what that was, and then suddenly my phone blew up with tons of old Egyptian art, and I saw that's how the ancient Egyptians just did everything. It was so tiny, minute, detailed, intricate, like the freckles on your skin, these little patterns that make up bigger geometric fractal shapes. So the thing that I saw when he went like this was something that is in his energetic body, maybe. The message I have is just fasting, sunlight, probiotics, ketosis, autophagy, neurogenesis, to get yourself back to baseline so that the fat's off you, and then when you start to eat food, when it comes in again with this understanding of energy, it comes in better. You have more control over the energy and information as it comes in with your mind. You're tying energy to mass. That's why people pray over their food. So that's all I have for you guys, other than like keep going. The only person that seemed like he was real is the other 33 life path. I'm being reminded of all the spiritual initiations I had that keep me in the state of consciousness and how traumatizing I thought it was at the time. But now I'm very grateful to have had that experience. And I poured out the last of my fluid for the slugs. I threw it all into the forest because I felt like it was mad at me, and I think it still is. Should we answer questions? Public park, I lay down and daydream my way out. I can't remember feeling safe and sound. I tried to end it, and I woke up fine. My love is eternal. You gon' get what you deserve real soon. All the things that I said I would do came true. It's all thanks to the universe. Whoa, 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 whoa. Robot dogs, mosquitoes with vaccines, fat white pride in a big truck. Hold me close in the evergreens, nuclear bombs. Ain't got nothing on we, our love is eternal. I'm finally free, singing outside with the birds and the bees, dancing around, swaying leaves on the trees until we get tired and fall asleep on the green. Dream of a world where nobody is mean, and the only things we scheme are to wake up the people not ready to feel it. My love is eternal. public parks, mosquitoes with vaccines, fat white pride in a big truck. Hold me close in the evergreens, nuclear bombs. Ain't got nothing on we, our love is eternal. I'm finally free, singing outside with the birds and the bees, swaying around like the leaves on the tree, until we get tired and we lay on the green. Dream up a world where nobody is mean, and we only scheme on the best way to wake up the people not ready to feel it. My love is eternal. My love is eternal. I'm finally free. I don't know if it's the Sagittarius in me that's able to shoot. Like maybe the Sagittarius coupled with the 11 power of the visionary allows me to shoot my connection to the sky and connect to the stars. But when I go outside and I look up like this and I really connect, more stars show up. Bright ones just kind of pop into existence immediately. Like in Star Wars when they warp speed in. And it really makes me think that these are like private servers, and that all those stars up there are outside of space and time, just looking in at this dollhouse in the imagination. Yeah, even if I had $550 for a computer, I'd have to figure out how to get my free FL Studio off of my old computer, which is, who knows, that Vivek's cabin could have been, or I called it the KC Sanctuary. I called it Sanctuary. Sanctuary might have been ripped apart by a tornado and those giant trees could have fallen on top of it. The flooding could have gone down that hill through the own paths that I raked with the leaves. The water could have flooded through and just picked up that computer and all the clothes and all my mementos I had left after the police stole all my mementos from my childhood and my childhood toys and my dead son's toys. And then they never returned my calls, but they watch my YouTube videos. And they don't feel bad about it. Fat white pride in a big truck. Fat white pride in a big truck. Nuclear bomb. Ain't got nothing on we, our love is eternal. That all could have gotten destroyed in the floods. So who knows? What should we do next, chat? Is there a way I can media share? We'll clip it. See if there's anything worthwhile in that clip. Is there a way I can just transition to media sharing my stream? Because then we can react to videos and shit. No, it's just community moderation. And I could start a poll. Skibbity toilet? I can't remember. That's me. That person is still standing there, just outside. You're not going to be able to see him. I can't remember. Yeah, it feels like it's like a node in my own, like if this is a projection of my own mind, that thing like tries to drain the attention away. Like when I feel alone versus when I feel like I'm being watched by somebody over there. I don't know why they're there, but it happens. I don't know anything about what that is. I have no esoteric wisdom on that. But it happens. It happens with the crows. It happens with the police, and it happens with the fat white people. It never happened. The only skinny white people are the ones that are specifically trying to be black. The only problems I've ever had with skinny white people are the ones that wear the snapback hoodie, the brim sideways, and talk like they're about it. Like they grew up in the projects, you heard? Those guys hate the Casey. Because Casey's a Titan, man. He's a mesomorph. You know what that means? A mesomorph in bodybuilding are people that are naturally built. Like, for some reason, when we just develop, our muscles come in big already. We don't have to do much. So that when we put on muscle, it comes in really easily and it comes into the right places so that we're just naturally built big, you heard? This coat is from the 1930s. This coat has been around through 3 wars. And I know people love it. Look how nice it is, but people love to hate it. I've been going places and people are like, I would never wear that personally. And I don't say anything, but I'm like, I should have said, well, you're not wearing it, are you? You wouldn't be able to wear this. People are like, I wouldn't wear that personally. You couldn't wear it. It's a 1 of 1. It's a custom-made bear fur coat. I'm finally free. Come on, chat. Ask me questions, chat. What do you want to know in life? I'm getting downloads. Things are coming to my head. And I feel like I'm at risk if I say what I hear. You feel me? Can I talk about how I don't think I will. Nuclear bombs ain't got nothing on me. Our love is eternal. Who voted no on the Skibidi toilet? Who the fuck voted no on Skibidi toilet, man? I'll ban you right now. I'll ban you right now for saying no to Skibidi toilet. You motherfucker. You absolute fucking fuckalatugan. You absolute goddamn fuckalatugan. I'm building an army. For no reason. I'm building an army for no reason. And then once I have one, we can do more. We can do so much more with more of us. you a boy toy? For the right woman. For the right woman, I'm a boy toy. Y'all better start voting yes to Skibidi Toilet Man. Y'all better start voting yes for Skibidi Toilet Man. I'm getting pissed. You're on thin ice, buddy. I'm starting to get pissed off, man. I need more Skibidi Toilet votes. Hey, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, way, way, wow, way, They come to teach us, then they leave us to find some other souls to save. Angel. Did someone vote yes on Skibidi Toilet? Fuck you guys saying no to Skibidi Toilet Man. Fuck you guys saying no to Skibidi Toilet Man. Yeah, thank my ancestors. To have beautiful, luscious locks like this, brother, your ancestors had to be badass warriors. Because it grew out like this, with these voluptuous waves. Because their genetic code was able to perceive higher dimensions better. And you only got that way through being shaman and being badass warriors that needed to be fully aware of your surroundings back when there was no internet and people had arrows and axes and were very quiet. They all knew how to run through the woods and everybody was trying to fuck everybody's girlfriends back in the day. So you had to be a big badass warrior like me and my dad. Yo, Gauge Destroyer. You be destroying gauges? You be ripping out people's ears? You be grabbing people by the gauge and just ripping a bitch right out, man? Man, I'm jealous. Well, don't be, man. Do some fucking push-ups and appreciate what you got, man, because everybody's different. Gauge Destroyer is kind of ripping out some ears. Mi carne no funciona. What's carne? Your heart? Show armpit? Cash at me $50 right now, bitch. I'll take off all my clothes. For a quick 50. For a quick 50, brother. I'm trying to buy a computer. I have dreams I'm trying to make come true, you feel me? I want a camera and I want to start filming TV shows shit. What? You said, yo. You said, yo. What? I'm already talking to you, Gage. You don't gotta get my attention. Yee! Yeet! I'm at the state capital of Vermont. Let's put my headphones in. I'm feeling depressurized. Chat, I'm trying to show us that ass. Cash out me a quick 50. I'll do it. I'm desperate, brother. I'm trying to make my dreams come true, man. Wait, there gotta be get a thick auntie in the chat. I might do it for free. Finally free. So I know you pussy brats won't believe me, but I'm the highest level empath on the planet. Freemasons look up to me with inspiration at my dignified ancient soul. For real, guys. And if you go earlier in the live, I saw aliens just revealed themselves to me, by the way, at 4404. Not to scare you, but aliens revealed themselves to me on the live stream earlier today, guys. I don't know what to do about that information. I'm not sure what to do next. But I'm trying to make my fucking songs, man. Imagine if I had an RV and I went around the country and I could see girls just throwing themselves at me because all the guys are trapped in the Matrix, incel weirdos with low IQs. Like Lil Mule. And they want a real man like me. So then I put a hot tub in the back of an RV. Imagine a hot tub in the back of an RV that's got the toy hauler so you open up the back. One day, I'm basically a cowboy. I just ride a bike instead of a horse. And I wrangle up crackheads and fat white people instead of cows. But they're not too far off from each other, man, except the cows are nicer. So that's me, brother! Huh? Huh? Has joined the chat. Huh? Chat, how many of you are Sigmas? Can you see your EDC pistol? I can't afford one yet, man. I have to show ass on I have to show ass for YouTube to afford a BB gun to start shooting these crows that bother me all day. You fucking bitch. Someone voted Skibidi Toilet! Go fuck your mother. I hope they try me, man. I hope they try me today, man. Skibbity toilet. I know I need one, bro. I need a big BB gun sniper that when I sit here and I see the Karens that are trapped in the Matrix and being piloted by an artificial intelligence because they can't let go of the Wendy's 2 for $4 Baconators, and then they look by me and they go, and they keep walking, or they pull their phone out to be like, is he allowed to be here? And then when they walk away, I pull out my .22 rifle and I beat them right in the asshole. And they're like, oh, that's the most attention a man's given me in 5 years. What do you want to know, Tatiana Yagashov? Bless you. I'm more like the most masculine soul on earth that has so much psychological trauma that it's hard for him to function. And I was born with the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, so my voice is kind of higher pitched. You feel me? Y'all better start voting Skibbity. I'm gonna be pissed off, man. You're on thin ice, buddies. I'll tell you whatever you want to know, Tatiana. Are you a woman? Why does your last name sound like a curse? Your last name sounds like a sneeze. Thank you. Thank you, Tatiana. Yagashov, bless you. Yagashov! Your last name sounds like an ancient god. Where are we coming from today, guys? Where do you guys live? Your name. I wish I could pin my Cash App. Do you guys have any rich grandmas that need some good karma? Alaska? Are people really raping people in Alaska left and right? People are like, Alaska is full of rapists and people that just burn down people's houses for no reason. All the crime in Alaska is the most in the country. Is Alaska really like that? Jinky Pinky, I know my Lord and Savior was an alien. I know he represents the fifth dimension, the Christ consciousness. I know he crosses over from energy into matter. Yeah, Alaska's crazy. Alaska... Don't be mean to this Bible bumper. But if he's obese, when Bible thumpers come in the chat, go to their profile picture, and if they're obese, call them out and be like, God does not want you to be so fat, brother. God does not want you to be so full of weight. You're destroying your connection. You're ruining your body so you can't house light. Your spirits are not able to be functioning. You're ruining your spirit with that. Say less. You shut up, bitch. Fuck you. I love you. Are you talking about the sneeze? Or are you obese? Are you obese, Tatiana? Say less. Who here needs to stop eating completely? I'm going to say it once, and then I'm not going to bring it up until someone else brings it up. All disease in your body, including cancer, is curable by not eating. Once you stop fucking eating, your body will eat the disease first. Huh? Is looking for your IG, Toddy. He's trying to bump that Kodiak butthole. Oh my god, bro. He's trying to get into those Alaskan cheeks. He's trying to bring this chunky woman up to the river when the salmon swim upstream. He's gonna watch as Tatiana and her big bare body bites it as they jump up. You die and you don't have to worry anymore. I barely worry as it is, man. I'm probably already dead. Elwing, man. Elwing. Tatiana, come back. It's okay. Some people like the thickness. Some people like some people like a little more meat on their bones. You feel me? In Alaska, it's necessary. You're cold. Some people want to cut it, like some people prefer in the wintertime to have a nice big carcass they can cut open and crawl inside when it gets too cold. You feel me? When they have to survive out in the woods, they need somebody with some oomph to them, some mass that they could cut open and then crawl inside in the wintertime. Nothing wrong with some hairy cheeks, I'll tell you that much. When it gets cold, you're gonna need that warmth. There are idiots outside of her window trying to be important, man. Yeah, the election, I mean, I know it's all staged, but I don't know what they have planned, man. I'll tell you the best thing you can do is to just get out in the woods and find a way to be at peace no matter what happens, and then learn to enjoy it. I tried to talk to, like, Will Survives and I went back and forth for a little bit, and then he ego checked me, my friends. This autistic little punk ego checked me. I don't know why. I'm smoking Marlboro Black Menthols, brother. It's nice. Yeah, Will Survives, he had very low amount of subscribers when we were talking. He blew up instantly. Never hit me up again. But we were gonna go to war together. I'm a certified audio engineer and producer. He liked the music that I make. I sent him a song. He wanted to. We were gonna go to West Virginia, and then he wound up in West Virginia anyway. Yeah, definitely get your passport now, before they bring in, like, if there's a second virus, suddenly you need vaccines again. Get your passport now. I have contingency plans for anyone that's here. You guys tuned out. All the kids are off to jack off and make their dad ashamed of them. But sell, like, put your Facebook marketplace, because you know I'm damn smart, bruh. Believe me that I'm a savant. Believe me that I have value to offer. I'm an ancient old soul. Hit that bitch on Facebook Marketplace to 500 miles. Hit that bitch to 500 miles. Type in free sailboat. And look at how many people are just giving up their boats. Because the rich people have upgraded and they're like, I don't need it anymore. Snag one of those sailboats, $2,500 easily. All you have to do is pay to put it on a trailer and get it in the water, and then you can have a nice time learning to sail, going down the coastline, or going up the Mississippi River or up the Connecticut, and then on the way you just stop, you drop anchor, like, just a little bit out of the way, you lock everything up, and then you can go hang out, go to the bars, talk to girls, do it for a YouTube series, do all that shit. And then if you want to go across the world, I think it's not that I don't think it's really that expensive to put your boat on a bigger boat and then take it across the Atlantic. And then you could have one of those little almanacs that have the language, and you could just go to all these different countries with your passport. And then you could just stop into all these different places, make a lot of friends, join communities like mine or the real world. And then just say, look, I'm doing this thing, I'm filming it. There are these group chats called single nomads, single travelers. And those are some of the baddest bitches I've seen in the world, brother. Some of the baddest bitches I've seen in the world are in these Facebook group chats called single nomads, single travelers. And what they do is they just pop out in a random city in Greece or Germany. The infinite. Like it feels like the kingdom of heaven is like a faction you can join. Sometimes to me it feels like the kingdom of heaven and Jesus is like a faction you can join in Skyrim. That makes it so you go to Sovngarde instead of wherever the Khajiit go. How many people voted Skibidi? 22%. I made that girl mad. No, I think it's a stage, bro. I think the universe is working in my favor. But I also think that there's levels to it, and there are some levels of reality where the universe is really, really not working in your favor. And I think that that's why religion is like, make sure you have faith all the time. So that reality can come to you in good ways. If you're a nihilist, it's like you're programming the world to Okay, I'm getting something from somewhere else that showed me Bashar, which is like a spiritual guy, and he says that the universe is always in abundance. Like when you're on this earth, you always have abundance, but it goes off of the presets that you set in your mind. So if you're a nihilist and you believe that things are bad, I don't might have not. I'll have all messages on. I don't know why he said that, brother. I'm missing some comments. Um, yeah, if you're a nihilist and you believe and you're pessimistic and you think things are going to go a bad way, the universe is always giving you abundance of what you want. So if that's what it thinks that you want, at some level of reality, you're going to have an abundance of bad times if you're expecting it to go badly, which is why all the religions say you have to have faith in all these positive beliefs that things are going to go well. And then Nelson Mandela that shit, when you're in the cage and the world just isn't going right and you keep it, it's just strengthening that faith, like exercising a muscle. But isn't that profound and very like deep wisdom? No, I've seen too much to believe in nothingness. Literally, if you just go back to the start of the live stream, as soon as I went live, aliens showed themselves to us. Aliens literally showed themselves to us at the start of this live stream. I've called thunderstorms on live streams. I've like astral projected into a cloud and called lightning, like imagining like it was a conscious entity, and the lightning congregated above me. I felt it notice my phone, and then it slammed down as like a showing of this. I don't have schizophrenia. I have savant syndrome and PTSD. So I'm so far. I'm so far on the spectrum. I broke the scale basically. And I have tons of trauma and brain injuries to keep me from overthinking my way probably out of this universe. Yeah, the you call it a high level of consciousness. I'm a 33 life path, born on the 11th. So if you look up the attributes of people born on the 11th in life path 11, and then you look at the attributes of a life path 33, plus there's tons of different unique stuff about me. Like I have a very personalized life it's very obvious the symbolism behind my life that's formed me, probably because being a 33 life path means you naturally don't have an ego, and the 11th especially 11 people don't have egos. So I would be the most selfless soul. Here's my butterfly. Here's my little butterfly that came to me. um so I have all this symbolism and all these motifs that make up themes that I'm able to understand that allow me to house my character. I have so much about my life that the narrative is formed to keep me kind of in this personality, if that makes sense. So like all my signs are Sagittarius and Aquarius. The last two generations were Sagittarius and Aquarius. So I'm like the embodiment of the last 60 years of people from like 1980 to like 2030. All the energies of those years I embody. Sagittarius is also the connection between nature and humanity, like all the philosophies and all this stuff that humans come up with versus the natural nature, what's always been here, mixed together. And then the Aquarius is the fifth dimension. It's the highest form of consciousness on the planet. It's like the highest form of energy in the narrative outside of this world. So Aquarian people are naturally detached and they live in this little bubble outside of Earth. Like people like Tauruses are completely in the Earth, completely enmeshed in nature. Sagittarius is like both of them, humanity and the beast. And then the Aquarius is completely detached from the Earth. So I'm like this natural channel to like higher dimensions. And I grew up on top of a mountain by myself in the woods in a giant ski chalet building Legos. And my dad has this also really, really cool life, like very structured. My dad, what my dad chooses to be is bad. He sucks. But who he is on the inside is amazing. He's a Leo, born on the 10th, which is the king. Um, he left Bronx at a young age and moved to a mountain and became a ski instructor. Stayed on that mountain his whole life, except he went to Hawaii to fuck people's bitches and party for 10 years. Got married, had a kid. She was born the same exact day as Andrew Tate. And all this stuff, like we're Irish and indigenous, and all these kids that showed up on top of this mountain when my mom would go to a thrift store and meet some random woman that has an Irish son, or I'd like people, like a family would move into my dad's triplex, and they all have ancient Irish African names that were all with my ancestor Brian Boru at the Battle of Clontarf 1,000 years ago, when he got all of Ireland together who was trying to kill him. They were all fighting, they were at war with each other, and he rallied them all by being so good at killing Vikings and being taller than everybody else. This giant would run into these people's castles and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Look!" And they look outside the window and there's Vikings just burning a village down the road. And he's like, "Look what's happening to your people. Get a grip." And the Irish people would be like, "Fuck no. Who cares?" So then he went out and killed the Vikings, waited until those boomers had kids. And then he went to those kids and they're like, "Your dad's a fucking idiot. Come with me." And then he brought them to the Vikings raiding and raping. And they're like, "Look what's going to happen if you don't come with me." So he gathered them all up and he spent his whole life, 50 years, from 14 to 73, gathering these people. And then eventually he's like, "We're ready." And then he just went from the top and he pushed them all down in one sweep and then kicked them off in the Battle of Clontarf when he was 73 with a hammer on a horse, killing these Vikings. And then he died in battle and then they won. So all those names of the houses that were with Brian Boru are not like my earliest relationships as a child. And they're all giant Irishmen. And we all think and talk, like I'll talk to them now, and the way that we have conversations, we talk about high-level esoteric stuff naturally, like the way that we naturally think about life is at like this major high level, talking about like huge concepts that deal with influencing massive amounts of people. And we thought that that was normal when we were young, when we would just talk about all these, we'd go off on all these weird directions about life, that now I realize we were channeling ancient wisdom and shit. You feel me? Like I used to open Aiden Ross's stream, and I'd like try to empathize with him back in the day. I was like trying to figure out like what's going on in Aiden's mind that's making him like talk and act like that. I was trying to like see all the connections and how the relationships worked, and I was like getting a sense of all the people's different emotions. And then as soon as when I do the YouTube videos, but then every time I joined the live stream, Twitch would crash. Every time I download Twitch and open my first live stream in 2020, the whole thing would shut down. And that happened on Kick a couple times when I'd watch Zerka streams. I tried to go on Zerka's stream. One time I typed something in chat, and then Kick crashed. And then I wasn't able to download Kick for like 12 hours. True story. And then that night I had a dream I was famous. I'm writing a book. I made it one page. I don't have the book with me. I think it's up in my tent. But I can tell you the story if you want to hear it. Of my first ever memory. I'm going to say it real quick. My first ever memory is... Oh, I wrote it so nice. I can't remember how I wrote it. Maybe it's in my bag. He loved him even though he was cokey. It is in my bag. It is in my bag, chat. You want to get a... Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm moving too fast. My mind is moving too fast for my hands. Hector Garcia, if you go back to the start of this live stream, I tried to activate my empathic abilities to live outside the matrix and to be fully in spirit and be like water. And aliens revealed themselves to me in ways they haven't before. It was really intense and terrifying. And it was live. I saw like 4 different kinds of UFOs in a span of 2 minutes. And I saw real aliens. Live. That's at the point that the planet is at. Because I'm an empath, I've been through spiritual initiations. I've seen so much, like something just pushed my phone. If you go back through my live streams, man, I show you that deer come up and sit with me, squirrels come up and sit with me, butterflies land on me. It's not a lie. I'm not faking, bro. So it's either Hector Garcia, I'm going to go there and then I'm going to read this for the one person that's still here. It's either that it's an AI, like an artificial intelligence like God, and it's just making those things seem like those things to make the story seem cooler, or those are actual beings that I've seen and I talk to. But I've seen ghosts, I've seen aliens, I've seen demons, I've seen what I think are angels, but they could also be like, I mean, those things have told me that they're angels. I've seen Wendigo, I've seen Irish gods. I've just had the simulation break and then something from the other side comes to me like a reptilian shapeshifter or something. And it teaches me profound stuff that I want to share, but I'm just waiting for the right moment for the right person to ask. The right question. But my name is the most powerful name in Freemasonry. And my name is really cool. If you look at my name, it's like 2 yin-yangs and then an S. Isn't that cool? He asked, how did I become this? I think I was born this way. I think it was something that I did in past lives, and I think those past lives might not have been on this planet, might not have been in this realm. And I think that, I mean, the facts, if you believe if you believe the ancient Egyptians, look what they did. They built pyramids across the world that communicate with stars. And they left messages for us that our society isn't able to decipher yet. We're more advanced than us. Like, look at how much we did in 200 years. Imagine what they've done in 200,000 years. So the aliens could just be other versions of people that sprouted up from the ground or bacteria that grew up into people and then ascended to outside of bodies. Those could be the aliens. But for whatever reason, I'm a 33 life path born on the 11th. Start there. But also, Casey is the most powerful name in Freemasonry. And stuff like that, and my last name and how that ties into my astrological chart. Okay, so do we want me to go off on how we're being hypnotized and controlled, or do you want me to give you the first excerpt of my book? This is my book. Let's do a poll. How many people voted Skibbity? Okay, poll. Poll. Book, excerpt, or how to see is it called The Reality? How to see the spirit realm? How to see the truth? Book excerpt or how to see the truth? I'll answer all your questions. If you stay in the chat long enough, I'm going to answer everybody's questions. I'm the highest level soul possible on this planet. I've been through so much. I know people in the CIA. I have all the keys. And if I don't, I'll be real about it. I won't make shit up for you. I'll let you know what I know. And I'll let you know how to make the most of it and how to ascend and how to do all this stuff. I have all the answers. And I'm finally getting questions, so I'm really happy. I just went through like 2 weeks of live streams where nobody had the answers. So you have the book excerpt first. Okay, it's only one page. You ready? My first memory is of fear. I'm sat alone in a dark hallway, cross-legged. At the other side sits a sunflower, its face pointing directly at me, unblinking and unmoving, its eyes and face level with my own. The walls containing us shift and contort as the particles of light dotting my peripheral lengthen and lurch, shooting forward in curiosity like birds darting through the forest. This lifeless, stagnant silhouette, unbothered by the universe, continues to match my gaze. I sit in my own mind, looking in through myself, waiting for an attack. While I sit there defenseless, even as a toddler, I was fully aware of the truth. My mother had left me alone with a monster. In a flash, electricity seeped through and grew upward through the veins of the plant. The old buzz of 90s children's toy erupted and bellowed as its neck extended and its petals writhed. It leaned forward with certainty, continuing to meet my gaze, and spoke in tongues I hadn't remembered. A sweet melody ruined by careless engineering and poor decisions. I screamed for a century and no one came. They laughed. That's my first page of my book. And then the next thing is my next memory is of war. That's the next page. So that's there. It was intense, brother. And that just came out of me one day. I didn't have to pause and think about it. I missed one part, and that's a sweet melody turned malevolent, ruined by careless engineering and poor decisions. I scream for it. That's what when my soul comes through, like the big secret, like the cool thing about my name being an 1133, Sagittarius, Aquarius, Casey, O'Brien, and O'Brien means exalted. It means put away from everything else with a high eminence. It means exalted and authority. Like Ed Sheeran's Castle on the Hill, it means exalted at the top. So I think that the same way people like Bashar and these people can open their mind and their imagination using like quantum physics and the flower of life and the Higgs boson and fractals and sacred geometry, how they can open up a way to commune with higher dimensional entities. I think that I am that higher dimensional entity. So when I come through in certain times, I can just spew out things like this and I don't have to think about it at all. I appreciate the support. So now I will, and I want to say thousands of stories. I have thousands of stories. And I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for that and my music and all this. So if everyone's here, somebody asked how we're being hypnotized and controlled. Basically, just very quickly think about it. Think about consciousness in terms of you have a soul, you have an individual set, your own, when you sit in your body and you like imagine creating a flower out of that grows, and imagine like running through a field. Imagine like go back through your memories and imagine where you were, like sitting in your school cafeteria, like a memory that you have, like that you can go back and see yourself imagining. It's like back when, it's like I can imagine myself sitting in the back of the class at the cafeteria in the mornings with my foster brother named after the Irish God of Fire, that I got out of an institution that was abusing us. And I cold called my way to escape by calling foster homes and trying to get my way out in my 15-minute phone calls until we found one, until I made enough noise that they got us out. And then we'd go to school for the first time and I had a phone for the first time. And I'd sit in the back and I'd watch all these kids come in and out. Turns out the girl that sat across from me became the girl I think is my soulmate. And everybody else was just around us. Um, and her name's Garrett, like my dad's name is Gary, and all this other symbolism about life. But I can imagine that right now. I'm right there. I can see myself float like it's just in front of my face. It's not in my mind anymore. It's in front of my face. Like I'm really there. I can feel the breeze. I can feel the temperature of the room at the time. I can feel all that. And I can use that to create something that hasn't happened yet. The same way that you can create something that hasn't happened yet, or you can imagine something that happens with the characters. It's not too far off to imagine that another greater version of yourself is imagining this moment right now. And you're imagining yourself, imagining this, imagining your perception of being in this third dimensional plane of condensed light and information, Higgs particles. So the same way that you can sit in your imagination outside of your body when you lay down and you dream and you're in the dream world, who knows how many other infinite amounts of things are out there. So those are what people would say spirits, but the same way that you have that, there are other people that have that, and you have a relation between each other with that. So the same way that when you look out and your perception of reality and your way that you see the world is kind of projecting outside of your eyes into this field, into this realm, into this space, other people have that the same way. And when somebody beats you in a fight and you feel kind of weaker and you feel like you're less than somebody else, or when somebody ego checks you and they try to make you feel less than, they try to make you feel like their way is more important, they're smarter than you, they know more, so you kind of like listen. That's what this is. I don't know if you can see this. When you see this giant structure, it's hard to see. This giant structure that the Freemasons built with the statues and all this symbolism, like the pillars and the marble arch and all this, that's their way of trying to project into your mind their will. So when people say, are we being controlled and influenced? There are things outside of you that want to, like when they say the eyes are the windows to the soul, not to yap forever, this is getting to a point. The eyes are the windows to the soul. What people say is that when you look into somebody's eyes, you can see what's going on in there. What the eyes are the windows to the soul really means is that everything that's going on outside is going inside. They're the windows to the soul. Everything that you're seeing outside is affecting your mind because you believe that to be real. And then when you can reverse it, then you can start to do that. And there are rules against it that you can break by doing rituals. And that's how the Wendigo was made. And that's why Hollywood exists. Because in ancient Ireland, the pagans would use wood from the holly tree. So they would use holly wood to cast spells to make people act. So what Hollywood really is the modern day pagans, which they call Satanists now, are casting spells, making people act, so that the eyes are the windows to the soul, so that these transmissions and conversions of energy come into your brain, and then you, as a pump of creativity, you're constantly taking in things from this world, and it's taking inside and it's building your energy, and then you're creating things with it. You're creating identity. You're creating a reality that you believe to be true. I just saw another shooting star, bright as day, and it was going left to right, letting me know to not tell you this stuff. When I get too far, I get things like literal aliens show up and tell me to stop. I saw a shooting star left to right, bright as day. It wasn't the meteor showers from the aurora. It was a bright UFO, Project Blue Beam, maybe. An actual thing. So, I appreciate the kindness. What they do is they try to put things outside of you to control the inside. And they try to do things like traumatizing you, structuring society in a way that people don't feel comfortable enough to freely express themselves creatively. It's scary, but at the same time, in contrast, be brave enough to just not let your external circumstances dictate your internal condition. Your inner world matters more. Your inner world is actually creating the outer world. So when you learn to utilize your daydreams and you learn to have this back and forth dance with the universe, you learn that anxiety and gratitude is like a switch on a train when the train can go down two different directions. If you're anxious, shift your focus away into being all the things that you're grateful that are happening. Like, I'm grateful to be an attractive person. I'm grateful that I have, even though I suffer and I seem to not fit into the world and all this stuff, I've learned that to use it to my advantage and to be grateful that I'm in that position to make a change. And then when I focus on that, my anxiety goes away completely. You can't, anxiety and gratitude are like two things on the scale, right? When you get too anxious, you balance it out with gratitude. You can't be anxious and grateful at the same time. Our bodies are just not able. It's just, they don't mesh. It's like oil and water. It's like, it's the same exact thing, anxiety and gratitude. So when you just, instead of trying to focus on controlling the situation when you're scared, shift your energy into creating gratitude. Go fuck your mother, brother. Holy fuck. I need eggs, bro. I need a big diet of eggs and rest so I can have lots of testosterone. So that was other things and how they're controlling us. I mean, I just got a shooting star. Literally an alien UFO has told me to stop. They told me to not share this with you. At 1:22. They told me to not share this with you. So I don't know how far I want to get into it, but I'll say that the same way that we have emotions and frequency and vibration, and our cells are condensed versions of light that house consciousness, and that when you're sick and you have parasites in your body, which are conscious entities that are trying to guide your body to help it breed. So addictions like sugar, especially sugar, not really cigarettes, but sugar. When you crave sugar, it's most likely parasites in your body that are guiding your mind to do this. This is a big scary thing. This is a big scary story I'm going to say once, and then I might say it again later in the future. But the same way that I talked about that my life has been a Truman Show, where it's been staged and it's been my life has been a very specific path my whole life that has revealed things to me in certain ways to kind of keep me prepared. So before The Last of Us ever came out, before The Walking Dead came out, before anything to do with zombie apocalypses, and I knew anything about mushrooms or mycelial networks, I just saw another shooting star left to right in front of my face, the brightest, the same way that I saw the bright shooting star earlier, that I was like, I've never seen that before in my life. I got the brightest shooting star I've ever seen in my life going left to right. So I'm not going to share it with you. I'm sorry. I'll answer some more questions, but I'm not going to go into that. Hopefully you can pick up what I'm putting down from what I just said. But I'm not going to go into that. That was too obvious. I was just threatened and warned by aliens. Right in front of my face. It wasn't like a passing shooting star like this. It was right where I've been looking the whole time. It just showed itself to me like slashing a beam of light through the universe. Of just the brightest light I've seen in my life. So, let's answer the next question. Hypnotized and controlled. I think I just gave you guys a lot. If you just listen to it back and try to put together what I said, we'll clip it. And I'll put it back. And I'll leave the timestamps on the clip if you want to go back. This is the big drop right here. You feel me? I'm very excited. The next question was, I suddenly have to piss. What do you think about the Black Devils? Is Nombre still in the chat? There's only one person. Is Nombre still in the chat? I don't want to answer a question that for the guy that's not even here. If Nombre didn't have the attention span to tune out the native Jews, I'm doing great, man. This live has been one of the craziest lives so far. This has been the craziest live so far. We saw like 7 UFOs, and the UFOs have started warning me. There's a new, so I've been looking at the sky all night. There's now 2 new stars that weren't there before. and they're the brightest stars in the sky, and they're close together. Like, I've been looking up at the sky the entire night. Okay, right above my head there was a shooting star. There's now stars that are just moving around in circles, like a star has been circling me the whole night. This is like alien invasion. It's happening right now in front of our eyes. So this star, I bet it's bright enough, so you can see that. That's how bright it is. There's a star, and then there's a tiny star floating above it. There was just another shooting star. Did you see it? Right in front of the camera. Right in front of the camera it went. Right in front of the camera. It's going right in front of my face and right in front of the camera. I don't know if you can see this one. There's stars that are circling me, I swear to God. So, I guarantee you tonight, if these beings have three-dimensional bodies, it's happening tonight. And they wanted me in the woods. Before I went live, I kept getting, before I went live, my mind kept telling me to go in the woods. And then I just had this really bad feeling about what was going to happen when I went into the woods. I felt something really bad was going to happen when I went in the woods. Something bad. But I've also heard that these higher dimensional beings, when we look at them, the same way that we've been designed to die and then reincarnate for thousands of years, when we see these higher dimensional beings, they feel like death because our souls are used to only seeing them dying. Did you do it, JDX55? Did you go outside and are you seeing them right now? It's happening, bro. Donald Trump just went on with Elon Musk and they did a live stream for hours. And then I think Zerka was going off talking about all the hidden secrets that they were talking about in their encoded message in that conversation. I haven't watched it yet. I'm taking a piss. Yeah, so that star that I said was the brightest star in the sky, it just moved. So I went behind a building and that star has moved. It moved to be able to watch me. There's a star watching me right now. So I showed you on the live stream, live to you guys. Live, immortalized. I told you about all this, and now there's a giant star in the sky with something orbiting it, and there are things that aren't satellites, because satellites should be going in a straight line orbiting the Earth. There are these stars that are exactly the same brightness as the other stars, except they're going in circles around me. This is the alien confrontation, man. This is my moment. And all the people that are asleep around me can hear what I'm saying. I'm saying it in the center of town. So all the people that are awake, their windows are open. I know I'm keeping people awake right now with this. This is the call of the wild for them to wake up to the truth. Come outside and look at what's happening. Unless they're not real. We had an NPC just standing there T-posing earlier. Notice how I got Irish for a second. I went Irish for a second. But yeah, okay, so this thing has moved again. I'll show you, look. It moved around the building. Can you see? Let me get closer. This star that should be a stagnant star in the sky. You can't see it because of that. Maybe I can focus in on this. I don't know why you could see it earlier and now you can't. But let me go. It moved. There's a big floating light in the sky that moved around the building when I moved around the building. So it's there. There's your proof. I don't know what to do. I was trying to get a guitar and just make songs. And now I'm leading a revolution for connection with aliens. But I'm glad I got to read you that excerpt of my book. That's the way that I spoke in this. I read the first page of my book. And the way that I spoke is the way that my soul speaks. That's how that's my stream of consciousness. That's me. That's the real me. That's how I speak naturally here. So thank you. It felt good to feel like not alone, because I went through my entire life alone, never talking about this stuff. before I would keep it quiet and use it to my advantage to play the game. And I'm very happy with the women that I dated. Yeah, this is it. This is like it's. I keep hearing coup de grace. I don't think it's a coup de grace. I don't think it's a final send off. Um, but yeah, I'm answering questions. We had a lot of good questions today. I tried to explain something very high level and high like something simulation breaking, and then I got UFOs going left to right, bright UFOs going right in front of where I'm looking. That went left to right, telling me to stop bringing people to my reality. If that makes sense. Stop sharing the real truth in that way, I guess. So if the other people are back, if Hector Garcia is still here, I can answer his question. If Nombre is still here, I can answer his question. I'm answering questions that people have about everything, anything. I have so much value to offer. Just to make your experience better while the world's ending. Why are they silencing the truth? I think that they have a specific plan. I think that they have certain channels for energy. I think that if I share everything, then my energy will get old. Like if I give you all the keys, I might not be as special. You feel me? So I think they might want that. It might also I'm sitting in the dead center of town, and I'm converting a lot of energy from all my relationships. When I'm manifesting this, I'm also taking in a lot of like I don't know if I'm necessarily stealing other people's life force, but I'm pretty sure we're all vampires in a sense. But it could be that's what came to me also, but it also came to me that people have to be ready for this type of initiation. Like this might just be the preliminary for you to have this experience and wake up to it yourself alone. I might just be the confirmation that you're not, because maybe you might be scared of what you see when you go off and kind of isolate by yourself and wake up. And maybe it's that everyone has their own unique story, and that my story might be different than yours. 13333, 6 people in the chat. What my story is that makes my life special and my life so important and cool might be completely different than yours. So your truth and my truth are different. And maybe that when you get to this foundational understanding of the real common denominator of reality, you might not be ready for it because you need more experiences in your life. You need to live your life and see things as the way that you are now. Like it might kind of ruin the show for you if I just tell you all the stuff, which is why I keep a lot of it way up in the sky, secret, way up, like all the branches of my tree. You can't see how far my roots extend and how far the branches go. I only give you little bits and pieces. And then I'm sure there are some savants that come across my stuff that subconsciously are picking up the same things I keep repeating, and that's building a little thing of information through the relationship that we have. You feel me? So that might be it why. But as a general mass sense, like the overarching conjunction of the masses, if you want to go to like the evilest thing about it, like if you want to go to like the malevolent, why are they trying to control us? I think it's things that want to live forever and they don't want to ascend. They don't want to leave this realm. They want to be in this realm forever. The people, like the ancient vampires that are eating babies, like Jeffrey Epstein, that was Samuel L. Jackson, and then was some other guy from Roman times. Not Samuel L. Jackson, Samuel Jackson. The guy on the $5 bill is Jeffrey Epstein. If you haven't picked that up yet, if you haven't realized that your $5 bill is Jeffrey Epstein. But I'll tell you this, they do have cloning facilities. Like the movie Get Out, where they transplanted an old white man's consciousness into a hot black body. They can do that. They show it off publicly too. If you go back to that Aiden Ross clip with Jake Paul sent him a message saying that if you keep doing lean, we have a clone of you. That's the big secret. It's called a Gucci suit. that when you join that club and you go and you learn all this stuff for that evil satanic coven. And I don't know exactly what they do, but it's all about influence over the public in a certain way. Like maybe humanity, not specifically the souls that come through, but the natural genetics of humanity. Like when you have to come through to a new body, you still have to come through your parents' genetics. So the truth would make you become a free creator. You would be able to fly. If you knew the truth that I'm talking about, which you can, everything that I've said, you can pick apart and figure it out for yourself if you put all the pieces together. I was able to do that through, like I learned how to do it through a dream I had. But I know how, there was a question I had on the last live where I was like, how come I keep getting to this level and the world starts to attack me? Like even the birds turn against me and the bugs turn against me. The whole simulation goes inception mode and starts to come at me. And that's because I learned how to do something in a dream that I start to bring into this reality, because there's no difference between dreams and reality. It's just limitations that we've set on ourselves that we were indoctrinated to believe since we were a child. And those things, I think, get spewed from some type of consciousness tower and some type of artificial intelligence. And that's a thing they don't want me to bring up. Is that the same way that you can exert your will on your surroundings, they are exerting their will on the surroundings. Probably to keep us in a manifestation farm, to eat and siphon our life force and eat our dreams. And natural masculinity would fight against that, which is why they want to destroy it. Natural femininity wouldn't be able to be affected by it. You feel me? So the best answer I can give you to silencing the truth is that they want to keep you from understanding the truth, so that the good timeline is that the truth can come to you in a miraculous way. The bad side of it is that they want to keep you stuck long enough that they can farm as much of you as they can before the good comes through. Whatever you focus on grows. That was an ascended master, an old spiritual mentor, just astral projected into my life and just gave me that message. So yeah, you feel me, man? Just mewing out here. Okay, Native Juice had a question. How do I deal with the winter? I had a car for most of it. Most winters I end up in a car, so I would go to sleep in the back and I'd build a nest in the back. And then sometimes I had hand warmers, sometimes I didn't. So if I had hand warmers, I would curl up like this. I'd put a hoodie over like this, and I'd curl up like this. I'd lay on my back, and then I'd just build the nest around me. I'd just put all the blankets around me, completely sealing me in. And then I would use my breath, and then I would suffocate myself to sleep with a hand warmer on my chest, listening to Smosh and Game Grumps and Call Me Carson and Oni Plays and just friends that would hang out with each other on YouTube. So I'd fall asleep listening to them have fun. And then I would just process all this high-level information that's coming to me from Ascended Masters and all this stuff that would be terrifying for you to have it come into your spirit. I would be processing and converting and creating. And then I would daydream about all the lives that I wanted to have. And then while I was curled up in the backseat, all those lives that I wanted to have expressed themselves through other people named Casey across the world. So the things that I created on my mountaintop in sub-zero weather, fighting to survive through the cold, warming up my cells to keep an aura going so that the cold didn't affect me at all. I would vibrate my cells and keep a ball of heat around me to have me survive through the night. And the things that I would daydream became Kai Cenat, became Casey Rocket, became Kurt Kaz, became Kendrick Curry. The Kingdom of Creative Champions was the group that I wanted to make with all my Irish brothers that were falling into depression and drugs and were losing their mind and disintegrating and become prideful, jealous sludge puppets that have no sense of love. They don't shine with any light anymore. They don't know how to do it. They're trying to play power games, and they only come back into my life to hurt me and overstep me and try to make me feel less about myself so that they could steal my life force instead of just coming with love and then getting it naturally. So all these people I was trying to save with my Kingdom of Creative Champions, eventually the KCC won the Super Bowl in my element year of the Water Cat. And then after that winter, I had to fight to survive. I fought for my life against people with weapons when I didn't have any weapons. I had to go against police precincts that targeted me and would bully me every day across New England. I lived with gang members. I had to save Native Americans that were being threatened with guns if they don't leave. And I had to bring them out of Vermont and put them in a safe place. I had to help tons of homeless kids that ran away from home. And when I was in the King Street shelter, and I had to lead all those people to victory, getting them doing push-ups and getting them motivated and getting jobs when the staff members were literally siphoning our life force to be able to play chess. They would use our emotional Bitcoin and they would play chess, and they all went up 1,500 rating, and they became like an IM master off of siphoning my life force energy. When I had spent 10 years, I used to beat my therapist at chess. I was like, if you can beat me at chess, I'll listen to you. I'll believe that you know what I'm talking about if you can beat me at chess. If not, let me be different and let me make a change in the world instead of gaslighting me into taking a medication that will sedate me for the rest of my life and ruin my youth. To try to be what you believe is normal when you're obese. You can't even keep your own mental health in check. You feel me? Shit like that. So the things that I manifested, I was this giant pumping factory that my energy expressed itself through the world, because my name means an ancient African tree that grows into every garden, and then when ingested, introduces the humankind to the infinite outside. Something that the DMT that I'm named after. And when I was born, the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck, and people are saying that, and I was in midday when the sun was right above my face, I was taken in a helicopter and flown north out of New York. So people say because of that, I have an enlarged DMT gland, and that's why when I even smell a hint of weed, I go through a DMT trip where I live lifetimes, and the fractal universe opens up, and I astral project into the infinite. And then I start to see cat people, and now I can do it naturally. Now I can channel my kundalini, open up my DMT gland, produce the same chemicals, the serotonin in my gut, and I can force it into my third eye and open my third eye, and then break down the reality around me. And that's when crackheads will come at me with hatchets and try to kill me, because their Viking ancestors had told them on mushrooms that the Irish tree was about to change the world, and they needed to stop me. So I had to fight for my life against Vikings in the modern time, and nobody had guns. It was all I had a fucking mile marker that I had to beat them off with, and this guy had a hatchet and a knife, and he was a trained martial artist, and he tried to push me off a cliff, and he spit in my face, and I chose not to hurt him at all and to just take my bike, and then I said, "Keep jerking off in your tent, you old fag," and then I left. When it was so easy for me to just grab him by the junk in the head and just whip him over my shoulder, but I believe in karma. So I was like, I know this is a test. If I kill that guy and ruin his life, I no longer have access to change his life later and use his martial arts skills to train kids. Because I saw the value in God's creation for him. Clipped. So that's how I deal with the winters. I curl up in a nest and I fight. I fight to survive by any means, man. Sometimes I have to curl up. Sometimes I have to sneak into a Planet Fitness, and I had to sit in the back, and I'd feel all the Matrix attacking my life force, and I'd start twitching and losing my soul, and I had to fight for focus, and then I'd turn the water on, and I'd feel the warm water for the first time in 6 months, and I'd cry. And then I'd leave, and then suddenly some girl found me on Instagram, and she's like, "I want to fuck you," and she's this beautiful bad bitch. As soon as I had that experience, I walk out, get a text message of a girl down the street that goes, "I want to fuck you." Okay. What do you think of all these dehumanizing modernity? Can you be more specific? Are you talking about like how technology is evolving to take us away from our natural state? Are you talking about like with Silicon Valley? Are you talking about like how software and content creation in our cell phones and cell towers and just the technological advancements seem to be steering us away from empathy? Is that what you're saying? By dehumanizing? Just like it, just say yes or no, or go into detail because we have time. And then, do I think Silicon Valley is evil? Okay. So I got a blip of light the same way that I saw the shooting star. A small version of that shooting star blipped into my head, and that's what we call an download. And that's what, because my position and my energy, I'm able to channel that naturally. I'm able to call the truth in. So, or at least that might be an alien entity. That might be something like Bashar. That might be my higher self. That might just be a fifth dimensional entity or my spirit guide or an ancestor or an evolved version of myself. Whatever that was that hit the side of my face, and I literally heard what it said. But it was more, it felt more like me. I think that was more of my higher self giving me this information to share. Basically, it was that it was evil in the 2010s and the 2009s. Society was so far away in the matrix, American society, because they had bred the boomers to be slaves in the Industrial Revolution. They had brainwashed them into hard work and white pride and all these things that they thought that they were strong because of it, because they formed society. They cut us off. The Freemasons had cut us off, and that's why they had to kill the indigenous. They had to stop the indigenous because America was a canvas, a playground for these Freemasons that left Rome. And I'm seeing the deja vu now of all the different times that I've said this, and we've gotten to this point outside of space-time, and we've been through this before. I can remember it clear as day. I remember saying this at a different time somewhere in the infinite universe where I got to this point. Like this is like me replaying Detroit Become Human on a different timeline. And to share this information and spread it out. So when Rome left, so the Roman had the eagle coin and they had the guy's face, and then Britain had the eagle coin in the guy's face, and now America has the eagle coin in the guy's face. Rome didn't fall, it just changed to banks in the Vatican, so that it would be easier to keep the peasants at a lower place to worship the higher guys and to just work for them. For whatever their agenda is, maybe it's space travel, maybe it's trying to become giant deities like gods, maybe it's something at that high level of influence where they use us like a farm to make them more powerful. In the 2010s, people like Mark Zuckerberg, which he was not in the Illuminati, he wasn't in any of these cults back in the day when he was just in Facebook, making Facebook at first. You could argue that he was the chosen vessel for these things to coerce him into making that, to steer us on this journey that we've been on with it. But for whatever reason, humanity went through a time where it was not naturally connected to nature and didn't understand any of this stuff. So it started to evolve to grow that way, to this dehumanizing way, because that was when you don't have this connection already, you grow up that way. It's like the parasite had taken over and the parasite was growing. So the Freemasons had already cut white America off from the natural connection. It was already dehumanizing. It wasn't modernity wasn't dehumanized. It isn't dehumanizing people. It was already dehumanizing, and that was like a bad plant that grew up. They let an invasive species sprout up in the wrong place, and that was that technology. But at the same way, because of that evil modernity and the way that Facebook went and destroyed all of our cultures and destroyed our natural sense of connection, and made these phones that the way that the phone chips are made are the same way that old witches and wizards would put on this. They would take their pens and they would cut a virgin's blood and they draw this pattern on the ground to channel the energy a certain way to allow a demon to come through, to ask it to do things for you, something from another dimension to open up. The same way that they have that, the chips on our phones and the way that the phone system is designed is in the same way that the pyramids are structured, is the same pattern. It's that same sacred geometry to allow for this portal between dimensions. So there is an empathic connection through cell phones when you talk to each other on social media. But that darkness, just like Revelations, it gets dark so that it highlights and strengthens the power of us waking up to the realization of how beautiful it is. We need to have this regulated, structured chaos and entropy. We need to have this rapture and Revelations, this horrible time with murders and violence and rape and all these things of this Facebook outgrowth, this sexy red making toddlers shake their ass for Drake. All these things because it triggers the righteousness in us and allows us the privilege to persevere and fight for what's right. And hopefully overcome it. How was that? Is there more? The other stuff is that Mark Zuckerberg has woken up. Mark Zuckerberg, when he goes on live and he's like, I'm just smoking these meats. And Mark Zuckerberg, he went from autistic loser to alpha Chad, where he grew his facial hair out and he got a nice haircut and he's dressing normal now. Because hopefully he stopped eating babies with Jeffrey Epstein and he started going out to clubs and hanging around better people. He seems like he's woken up to Christ. He wants to be the best version of himself and he wants to do right and do better. If you've noticed, he stopped pushing the metaverse. He realized the metaverse was taking humanity away. But also, I want to say that because that is still there, it hasn't been destroyed yet, it hasn't been converted to this natural way. Hopefully the Native Americans grow out and grow back into what it should be. Those good genetics and that good code and that good humanity, I saw a ghost. Hate to say it. There's something just standing there, man. There are people that still chose to put more of their focus in that darkness in Silicon Valley. They think that they're doing something right because they're in the cities that are still structured the same way that the cities are designed, like when the Matrix said you're a battery for the Matrix. The cities are the batteries, and you're a node in a Bitcoin mining system. When you're in a city and you're in your apartment, there's a bubble around that city, and you become a character in that giant extension of the city. It's like a forest, mycelial network, except there's no plants. So you don't have that natural connection to the forest. The trees are constantly producing smells and vibes and atmosphere. That's why they're burning the Canada wildfires. Do you see me sounding like Kanye West for a second? That's why they're burning the Canada wildfires. That's why they're burning the Amazon rainforest. They're trying to take out what's been there for thousands of years. They're destroying ancestry. They're destroying wisdom. They're destroying the world that's been around for thousands of years, that's embedded itself in the energy in the genetics of the trees and the animals that have evolved. They're destroying these species and they're destroying the earth and the world so that they can recreate it in their image. That's what it's a immortality, to extend their own will and grow it in their image. Is that hitting home? They're destroying the earth so that they can rebuild the earth in their image. And the cities are factories to pump up power to make that manifestation possible. They siphon your life force through sex and through all these horrible things by doing it the wrong way and keeping you from that. so that they could get themselves power. And I think maybe that's why they want to leave on spaceships. Maybe they want to go to a Kepler B and do a seed colony. Okay, this is scary. So this is for you guys. This is like this is biting the apple real quick. Scary truth? Question mark. We're going to have a poll. Scary truth? Do you guys want the scary truth? We're going to wait a couple minutes. I'm going to light this cigarette. Actually, I like that. I like to light the new cigarette. That's my favorite part of smoking. Synchronicity. Scary truth is all at 100%. We're going to get to, when this gets to 157, if it's still 100% scary truth, I'm going to say it. It's coming to me, so it feels like it wants to be expressed. I'm not getting an alien shooting star telling me no. Okay, so do you remember that movie? So I mean, a literal butterfly has just come right to left. And that, did you see it fly over the camera? And now it's floating right above my head. Or right in front of my face. And it went right to left, so. And then every time I think about sharing with you, it comes back. It leaves and then it comes back when I think about sharing the scary truth with you. Look. Hello. Now it's under my chair. Nature has sent not an adversary, an ambassador. It's sitting directly under me. I can feel, not to get vivid, but I just felt nature shoot its consciousness up through my fucking root chakra, which is technically your taint. So it's under me, sending me consciousness into my. Yeah, I hate to bring it there, brother. But that's what it's doing. So, I was bringing up a movie that was poorly made and they rushed it out very quickly. But it's a movie. It has Leo DiCaprio in it. It has Jonah Hill in it. About a scary truth about the world ending and these technological oligarchs. They're rushing to get themselves on a type of arc to get out before it happens. Because maybe they want to skip the reincarnation process. Maybe they're not ready to go back to source. Maybe they don't want to connect to the fifth dimension. They like the world and they're going to go seed a planet in their image and live forever somewhere as rulers, like the Anunnaki. And they're going to start this evolutionary process where they make their own humans and evolve them like this. That's called transhumanist, where they want to put us in robots and stay alive forever. It just depends on what's the truth about the system in place that's keeping us in our bodies. Is it a demiurge that's siphoning our consciousness? Are we slaves feeding some type of giant monster that created us specifically just to feed it and worship it? I don't know that much. But I know that higher dimensional energy makes me feel more complete and connected to the universe, and that makes me cry with how simple my problems were compared to that. The sun is starting to rise. Today's a 5-day. Susie, this is the best live I've ever done. If there was ever a live to go back and watch, like an entertaining movie, this would be it. At 2:0022. Transhuman, but not transgender, man. Yeah, I read the first page of my book. it got a good reception. Ew, transhuman. There we go. So do we have more questions? More esoteric revelations before the sun rises to help you live your life better? Tell some stories, brother. And then I'm going to go back in the forest and channel the energy and have to fight the crows for dominance. And then today's a 5-day, so hopefully, maybe if I stay up. Oh, Ben Works lurking. Thank you. Coincidentally, the day that I have to travel, is the day of travel, the 5-day. So I have to go back into one of the worst places in Vermont. I have to go to a place that I was already trespassed to get something that I need from the mail. And hopefully they don't arrest me and I go to jail as a police car is driving by. But you know, two police cars drove by. So maybe, and now there's a thing going right to or left to right. So maybe I should call them and have them come to me somehow. Instead of going back out, maybe I should rest again. So that's where we're at. For me, I'm trying to get a phone. I'm trying to get a computer. I'm trying to get an e-bike. Maybe a motorhome in the future. Trying to get a way to make my music. Trying to get a guitar. Trying to get a way to do embroidery and have merch for you guys. Stuff that nobody's ever seen before. Trying to get supplements. Trying to get... And then once we have more subscribers, then I can... the more support, the better. Puts me in a better position. Or maybe it's better for me to be homeless and humble. Maybe my art will be better that way. So... maybe my experience will be better if I can keep it real, laying on the ground depressed. So, maybe the sex is better when I'm homeless, brother. Maybe that's it. Maybe the sex is better when I'm homeless. Because nobody else is doing it like I'm doing it. So, I will share the I shared the scary truth without saying it the way that they were warning me not to say it. Susie's a 5 life path Sagittarius Leo. The Leo is unbothered by the outside. The Leo is the I am. The Leo is the sun. So to be a 5 life path Sagittarius Leo, it means that you're able to travel. You're able to go and do things like walking around the Grateful Dead concerts, following the Grateful Dead in the Rainbow Family, or traveling around on an e-bike, or traveling around door dashing, or living in a camper with a truck attached to a 5th wheel and going around the country instead of being cooped up in a house. You're able to be unaffected. Your creativity and your spirit are not affected by that. And it's all fire signs, which is the creative force. And if you don't, without it being balanced by air, so I'm sure you have a lot of air in your chart. Or you must have, I know your husband is a Virgo, and that's strong. That's the strong, loving Venus energy. Every time I'm around a Virgo, they're like Tauruses and Capricorns, they kind of ruin the vibe. But Virgos are the strong earth sign that doesn't ruin the vibe, you feel me? They don't take it to like a deeper emotional place. The Virgos are able to have fun and be loving, but they're also the strong earth energy. Yeah, nature is natural technology. The Egyptians didn't need electricity to be able to do all this amazing things that they could do. They understood that our biology is technology, and they utilized their biology with nature to do all these things. Like, they didn't need a ship with electricity to fly in the sky. they floated and they used the air to constantly be projecting this aura that kind of let them just float and glide forward, using concepts like time, using their mind to control reality. They didn't need a phone to communicate. They could use apps in their imagination by imagining apps and understanding the collective consciousness. They could daydream what you'd call like purgatory, where these lost souls are trapped in a plane and can't get out of. They just naturally had planes. They didn't need planes. They had planes. You feel me? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy how I just say shit like that? Because I'm not here. My body's here. I'm something ancient only came to break my people from their chains, tell jokes and get laid, and make my name last as long as my last name. This is my victory lap. I always said I'm going to do it, and I did it. That's a fact. I know you hate me, but you miss it. Come over and let me kiss it till you tap out and pull your hair back and pull you close enough to kiss it till you tap out in submission and make you say, whose is it? This one's for the days I was down on my back. This one's for the days I was digging through the trash. Brain damage in the days trying to find my way back. Paranoid and praying someone come and save me from this pain. This was for the days I was lost and had to learn to get it back. Now I'm stacking up this cash. I would give it all away to be 8 for a day building Legos with my dad. Before the police took his brain and the wealthy whites took everything we had. This one's for the rain. Tell the world I'm not afraid. Every time they count me out, I come back and put the truth straight through their face. I am something ancient only came to break my people from their chains, tell jokes and get laid, and make my name last as long as my last name. Kehasa Francois O'Brien. What they do? That's one of my favorite songs. Actually, it's today, a year ago today, I was filming the music video for that song at the top of the Hermitage Club, which is what my old childhood home was, way on top of a mountain in the way back of a straight dirt path with a bunch of rich people's houses that they only stayed in 1 week out of the year. And my dad and I lived in this, on top of a hill at the back of that road, in this big red ski chalet, surrounded by eagles and hummingbirds and bears and deer. And we would sit alone building Legos, and we had this giant, it was a big triangle-shaped ski chalet facing Haystack Mountain, and the ski resort that they built later. So I used to walk up there with my dog before they built this. Now there's a big giant ski resort called the Hermitage Club, and I filmed that music video on that ski resort. And my singing's a lot better when I haven't spoken for 2 hours and I'm in the woods and I don't have a lot of cigarettes in my lungs and I'm not being pressed by the firewalls of the Matrix constantly coming at me. You feel me? But that's called Victory Lap. And it's on one of my 6 albums. We have Swords. So far, I think I'm making something called Soul. Then we have Sundance, which is 2023, and that has a whole TV show around it that I've written. And then we have Storm, which is this year. And then I also have, I'm not sure if I'm going to call it Casey, or I'm not sure what I'm going to call it. But we have that, and then I have a couple collaboration albums that I want to make with you guys and make with a bunch of artists that I met along the way. And So far, the title for that is Burlington, for all the Burlington rappers, but I don't really fuck with them anymore like that. I don't know if I still want to do that. I might make the songs and leave it open for TikTok and then promote it to Burlington and be like, this is an open challenge for anyone that wants to rap in Burlington, those kids. And then I have one called 33rd Rising, and that's for the people on here like Derek, if Derek is still in the chat. I don't know what you mean by the face stretchers, but I know about the face stealers. I haven't had a face for a long time, if you catch my drift. Because 33s have super egos because we're completely selfless. So we have the superpower of intense super identities and super egos. We can create characters. So the face stealers and the dementors really come at me. Yeah. It sucks. And then they'll rub it in my face. Like the last time I had a job, I felt someone rip my face off, and he was wearing my face in the spirit realm. And then a stranger came in and was like, this old guy, this old corrupt cop turned white pride privileged manager of a nice hotel and bar. And I felt like he stole my face. His whole tone changed. He started to talk like me. He started to act like me. He literally stole my energy as soon as he put the paper down and said, sign your life away to be employed. And then all of a sudden everybody was interested in him. All the girls flocked to him when they were flocking to me. They were stealing my life force and my energy, making me feel like a lifeless husk, a slave, and rubbing it in my face, bullying me until I quit, so that they could hire the next homeless person as a tax write-off. But I tried to get a job, guys, and somebody came in and was like, JP, I love your new face, right in front of everybody, like it's a cult, and they're all aware of what's going on. They're like, JP, you have a new face. And then they looked at me and then walked away. So is it real? Is it a simulation? Were they real? I don't know. But I know that sucked. It was horrible to experience. Alone, with nobody. And you know who else does it? My mom. My mom loves to do that. And if she no longer has that means to hurt me, she'll lie to the police and she'll turn my whole family against me. And then when that didn't work, she tried to turn the town against me by posting lies on a Facebook page. Trying to make up a story to gain sympathy for power. Because she's sick. She's a sick freak. Fuck that fat cunt. Isn't your mother supposed to be the world that you live inside spiritually? And they gave me a mother that wants to kill me. A jealous, envious, narcissistic piece of shit. So whatever, man. Look, these Marlboros have horses with crowns. And then this big Irish family that I grew up with is called the Kehoes, which means Irish horse. And then the symbolism of that is like the Trojan horse, but Irish horse. The people that invade with full of Irish souls, ancestors. And then we're about to approach the year of the fire horse, 2026, which is the start of the new cycle. 2025 is the end of the past cycle. Notable mentions for this 12-year cycle, Bashar, who was making all this stuff that's coming out now, 12 years ago when this cycle started, and the Asasani was channeling through him to help humanity evolve. And he's been doing this leading for 12 years. Now he's infecting the mainstream through TikTok. So all of his messages from 2020 are now hit, or 2012 are now hitting in the next year of the dragon, right before we get to the next stage. And what happened to me in 2012, man? Oh, 2013 was when that's what I want to see. That's what I'm excited for. Because the year of the fire horse will be the next cycle from when I set off on this journey. When I had to fight, when I did acid and then with Cheap Trick, and then I had to fight for my life against my father, all of the TVs are going off. All the electronics just shut off in the Freemason Temple. All those TVs that were cycling different images of the White House just shut off. But I was saying that in 2026, that will be the end of this cycle where I left home when I was 14. Now I'll be 26. That 12-year cycle will have ended. And then when I was 2, at that cycle, that was right after 9/11. So who knows what's going to happen? Does anybody have any questions? This is my favorite so far. I mean, every stream is like its own entity. Every stream is like a different version of Casey that gets to express itself beautifully. Every stream that I have, I think, is a work of art, and I might not be, like, when I look back, I don't like my tone of my voice, because I feel like I've emptied myself. So when I come back, and when I'm resting and I watch my stream back, I don't like how I spoke. Like, I don't like the tone of, when it's just coming from my throat chakra, and it's not coming from my heart at all. I'm just like a talking head expressing esoteric truth. And I didn't really hang out with the guys that spoke like this back in the day. You feel me? But I still feel like it's a work of art. And I'm excited, like, who knows what the AI is gonna do with this. Because this whole thing is me, like, imagine an open mouth. Don't imagine it, sorry. Imagine this going straight to heaven, and I'm just feeding God to come down in better ways to bless us. But does anyone have any questions before I go? Because the sun's coming up. I'm going to eat the last of my food. I'm out of food. I'm out of food stamps. I want to save my money, so I'll try to go to like a food shelf or something, or I'll make an appointment with a food shelf, or try to make it easier for me to ride my majestic steed through the Matrix, through all these zombies, blasting my music in my head. If anybody has like maybe I'll set, like, if there's I'll make a short if there are people that are supportive. I might do a PO box when I get to the next stage, because I'm in like a transition headed to the next place, and the next place is really cool. I'm excited for it. I need a phone that can do straight talk service, and then I'm able to show you guys how cool it is. I need to save my money. But if people have like cool stuff they want to send, like extra speakers they don't use, or like, I don't know, maybe clothes, and then I'll be able to add like embroidery designs to it and send it back, like merch, where I can custom make your own stuff. That'd be cool. I just saw myself selling leather armor. That's nice, dude. I was just shown a bunch of things that I was manifesting in Vivix in the Casey Sanctuary. I saw a bunch of really cool stuff. I'm excited for. I'm really excited for it. I feel like I'm trying to outrun technology. I'm trying to stay in this natural world, and I'm avoiding the Matrix. Like humanity, it feels like humanity gets pumped and it becomes human for a couple days, and then it cannibalizes itself back into entropy, and they're no longer human anymore. And then they're stuck, trapped again. And that's when Some days I'll ride through after the cycle, and then everybody's happy. Everybody's talking in the street and having a good time. And then within a week, I'm riding my bike through and everybody's like twitching, head forward, angry and aggressive. And then I ride through and remind them of, I imprint them with my energy. But I've been riding my bike, belting my songs. I came here thinking I was gonna perform on stage to tons of people, and then I wound up performing to them in the middle of the night while they're hanging out in their houses by themselves. I rode my bike through, performing my songs on a bike. So it's like I rode into battle, like the Lone Ranger, the lone cowboy, rode through singing my songs and expressing myself that way, which was cool. I'm gonna end it at 2. I just want to say thank you guys for watching it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support to the people that like, comment, and subscribe. The people that support. To the few people that have donated, you have no idea how much that means to me. You have no idea how much I was able to do with. I've had 2 donators so far, and it's just Uncle Will gives me $10 every now and then, and I use it to get a pizza. And he always somehow he knows when I'm depressed, and I really appreciate that, man, because it gets me through it. It gives me the peace of mind to keep making songs and keep getting up and making content. If Heather had dropped me a 50, and that I was just scrounging around for cigarette butts and laying down, this gave me enough to go get like a comfort food and to get a pack of smokes, and that gave me enough to do this, and then that let me have this amazing experience and provide this for you guys, immortalized. So I really, even though it might not sound like it's coming from the heart, because I've been talking for hours and I haven't slept in 24 hours now, I appreciate it, and it means a lot to me. And everything that I think about in my day, when I wake up to when I go to sleep, all I'm thinking about is how to find the best way to help the most people. No bullshit. I just come up with, I think about major problems in the world, I come up with solutions, and then I have the privilege to relay those solutions to people in positions of power that are able to implement those ideas. Now I'm getting an old, my clothing brand used to be, I just want to, all that I want to say is the King of Kings. And then I used to have my merch design I wanted to have for myself, like when I wanted to do bomber jackets. I wanted to sell bomber jackets with patches on them, and then they would have the names of your character, and then it would have the KCC patch on the side. And it would be like this nice dark green felt with like black leather sleeves, embroidered with like gold and red inlays, and then the KCC would be like this black sleek rubber K, and then the C would be like the less than symbol, like the inside parentheses, whatever you call them, not the brackets, but the 2 triangles this way, KCC. Tons like that. And then mine was the Kingmaker. That was my character name for that thing, was the Kingmaker. So like the biggest solution I have right now for the homeless people is that these guys are willing to work, but they're not willing to subject themselves to the matrix. They're not willing to submit like dogs, and they're not comfortable being around people anymore, and they don't know how to live in that world, and they don't want to jeopardize their benefits, but they also need money. So if these people don't want people to panhandle, what they should do is put electric bike stations that generate power. So what these homeless people will do is they'll get in groups when they need money for something, like they need money for meth, they need money for this, and this. What they'll do is go sit at that e-bike park, get on that electric bike, and then they'll take turns, because they'll do it, they're crackheads. They'll take turns getting on that e-bike and just banging it out, generating as much power as they can. And then at the end of it, there's a little meter that goes to that says how much they just generated. And then they print out a little ticket that they can take to a place like Shaw's. And then they get reimbursed, like bottle redemption, for how much they generated. And that power node goes into like some type of public building like this, or like some local business or something that's able to use that power. So they gave them, they generated power for money. And that's something that's revolutionary. That's something that will make a huge impact on the world. And I was only able to come up with that by living this life. So thank you to the people that donated to get me through it. There's been 2 so far. And I keep you. That's the best thing I get. I heard one of them say, I heard Heather say, I keep you in my prayers. And I wanted to relay that I keep her in my prayers. And I wanted to acknowledge that if you were doing it for some type of recognition from God, I just got that recognition from God for you. And this is my tarot reader's voice coming through me because I'm attached to him. And he's now doing a tarot reading for me right now. There's a tarot reader that woke up somewhere and he's doing his tarot readings. And he just has a reading for me that I'm going to wake up to later, and I'm going to have a message from him. And I also I just learned that I can do the same thing he can do, which allowed me to open up the perspective to start having a separate channel doing collective energy readings. Maybe we'll call it the Kingdom Collective or something, where I can channel messages for people and solve problems that way if I wanted to reduce myself to being like a one-on-one type of therapist vibe, when I'm not trying to change the world revolutionarily. And I have so many music videos. I just made something in my head, so I'm trying to get a camera too. I just saw I should make a Google Doc about all the things that I need, and then eventually make a video. Maybe when I have these like young girls that come into my chat that think I'm cute and want to do edits of me, maybe I'll have them do that. But either way, it's pretty obvious that I'm an ancient king that led people to battle in the future. And I'm so excited to see what happens. If you go back through the live stream, I've revealed to you aliens in real time. And I gave you esoteric secrets that will open up the universe for you to have an amazing, meaningful experience. I gave you the keys to heal your biology the right way so that you can house yourself and be happy. I taught you how to control happiness. I taught you the cure for anxiety. And I hopefully kept it entertaining for you, man. So this doesn't really help my depression at all. You too, bro. There we go. How we feeling, chat? I don't know why, but I have this same stand-up like I just fucked a girl. That same way where I felt like I expelled all my energy. And now it's like, it's been real, shawty. I have to go do something else. Yeah. This has been one of my favorite lives. So, thank you so much for watching. This has been Casey Francis O'Brien. What should my slogan? Make it happen. Make it happen.